The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Tonight, we'll tell you why one freshman had to miss the first week of classes.
We'll have that and more coming up. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Welcome to Coyote News. I'm Xander Hull.
And I'm Ava Sevening. Incoming freshman Miles Kraske missed the first week of classes, but for a good reason. He competed at the Paralympics in Paris, France. A parade took place on Monday down Cherry Street to congratulate him on winning a silver medal in badminton doubles. Kraske and his doubles partner J.C. Simon won the first ever medal for a USA Olympic badminton team. This is also the first ever badminton medal for any of the Americas. President Sheila Gestring, Athletic Director John Schemmel, and SGA President Ethan Gladue all spoke on behalf of Miles' accomplishment. Coyote News will interview Kraske live coming up later in the newscast.
Last night was the second presidential debate, but it marked the first meeting between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. During the debate, Harris focused on how she'll lower costs for the middle class and spoke about a woman's right to an abortion. She said that viewers hear a bunch of lies from Trump. In return, Trump portrayed Harris as a continuation of President Joe Biden on immigration and the economy. Other issues covered included border security and the war between Hamas and Israel. The vice president nominees, Tim Walz and J.D. Vance, will debate October 1st. The election's just 2 months away. It's time to prepare to vote. Students from other states can choose to register to vote in South Dakota or vote absentee with their home state. Absentee ballots can be requested from county election officials, and individual votes must be received by Election Day. Voters must be registered to vote before casting a ballot. For more information, visit your state's Secretary of State website.
On this day 23 years ago, nearly 3,000 people lost their lives on 9/11. At noon today, the Student Veteran Resource Center and ROTC held a 9/11 anniversary observance at Patriots Plaza. On that day, hijacked planes were flown into the World Trade Center in New York City, the Pentagon near Washington, D.C., and another flight crashed in the Pennsylvania countryside. At USD, an audience gathered and placed flags to honor those who lost their lives that day. Most USD undergraduate students weren't even born when 9/11 changed the nation. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in South Dakota, and the leading cause among those from 10 to 29. In observance of September's National Suicide Prevention Month, a field of memories have been placed at the old ice rink by Patterson Hall. These flags represent the more than 1,100 U.S. college students who die by suicide each year. Students can visit the display and leave a message of hope or honor someone that they miss. The exhibit will remain up through Friday. If you or someone that you know needs help, call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988.
The Community Connection Center is celebrating its 5-year anniversary. To commemorate the occasion, the center and Vermilion's United Way are hosting a community 5K. The run takes place on Saturday beginning at 9 on Court Street. The course will run through downtown Vermilion and USD's campus. Registration is $25, but USD students can use the promo code STUDENT to get 10% off registration. Each participant will receive a t-shirt and a bib. There will also be refreshments available for participants after the run.
Also on Saturday is Greening Vermilion's Adopt a Drain community painting event. Adopt a Drain volunteers paint a series of storm drains along Cherry Street and Dakota Street to Cotton Park. The path follows a single storm drain that carries rain and snowmelt down the bluff to the outfall into the Vermilion River. Beginning at noon, participants will start at the corner of Dakota and Cherry Street and walk the drainage path. Those who don't feel like walking can meet the group at Cotton Park at 1. Water and sidewalk chalk will be available for participants, and all ages are welcome. After the break, an incident between two local fraternities has led to a formal statement from one house to another. You're watching Coyote News.
Hey. Can I talk to you about something?
Of course. Is everything okay?
No. Something really bad happened to me.
Why did you go there alone? How much were you drinking? Are you sure you weren't encouraging it? I am so sorry that happened to you. It is not your fault. It took so much courage for you to tell me that, and I'll be here for you in any way that you need.
This is Coyote News.
A few days prior to move-in day, an incident occurred at the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity house. A video depicts 3 members of the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity running up to the front door of Pike during the night, banging on the door and shouting homophobic slurs. Coyote News reached out to Pike's president, Hector Gallardo Duarte, for details. In a formal statement, he says, the fraternity is committed to fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. They've taken appropriate steps to report the situation to the necessary authorities, and they're working with Lambda Chi Alpha's leadership to ensure the safety of their members and the campus community moving forward. Video footage was captured of the incident on Pike's Ring doorbell, but it is not being shared in order to protect the privacy of some individuals. Coyote News reached out to Lambda Chi Alpha's president for comment, but did not receive a response as of news time.
Most USD fraternities have been staying busy with the start of school and in preparing for the 2024 Fall Rush Week. It's a week for the fraternities to open their doors and welcome potential new members. During Rush, prospective members can find any of the houses filled with games, food, and the opportunity to make many memories. Lambda Chi Alpha's Carter Kanak says he looks forward to Rush Week.
I remember right away just like having no idea what the Rush Week process is. I mean, I was told just to come and right away just fell in love with the group of guys. It was just a lot of fun and knew it was right for me. Just being able to give like the people that are going through the recruitment process the same great experience I did.
Kanak encourages interested freshmen to simply be themselves during Rush Week, and they'll find the home that fits them best. More than 250 students made Greek life bids this year, which is a higher number than previous years. Coyote News' Parker Orr is live in the muck to figure out why the numbers increased so much. Parker?
Thanks, Xander. I'm live in the muck with Kelly Suzamil, Assistant Director of Sorority and Fraternity Life at USD. Kelly, there's been an increase in numbers in sorority and fraternity recruitment this semester. Do you have an inkling to why this is going on?
Yeah, so the past 2 years, we've seen increased numbers following the COVID-19 pandemic. We actually switched our recruitment timelines, which I think is a big cause for why those numbers have increased for sorority recruitment. Instead of doing the formal process in the summer, we've changed it to be either the first or the second weekend of school. And then for fraternity recruitment, we've changed from the first week to the second week in the evening. That's just really given our community time to actually make connections on campus and also promote their involvement and also promote their experiences. I feel like sometimes sorority and fraternity life has this mindset of like, if you know, then you know, but we really want to combat that and say like, hey, we want you to join our community, get out and meet people. And I think that that's what's helped us increase numbers.
If anyone is wondering if they can join Greek life, can they still join mid-semester?
Yeah, so that's actually, for fraternities, there's no end date for recruitment. And so bid day is the start that bids can start being given out. So if you're interested in joining a fraternity, you can either reach out to my office or reach out to an individual fraternity or the University of South Dakota Sorority and Fraternity Life Instagram. And then for sororities, they do have a campus total or a cap necessarily on their numbers. And so sororities can recruit up until that number. And right now, all of our sororities are continuing to recruit, and they can reach out the same way.
Earlier in our broadcast, we covered an incident between 2 Greek houses. What is a protocol if people that live in 2 separate Greek houses have a dispute? How would they go about that?
Yeah, so FERPA covers individual student conduct records, so I can either confirm or comment on that particular scenario. But I can say for disputes within the Greek community, or in the case of a policy violation, sorority and fraternity life works with the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities and individual chapters and individual members involved to resolve that dispute internally, and then also get national fraternities or sororities involved if necessary.
And then Kelly, you were a part of Greek life in your undergraduate term. What was your favorite memory from the experience?
So my favorite memory then and my favorite memory now will always be bid day. I think it's a really impactful experience to watch everyone run home, for the sororities I should say, run home and get to meet these people for the first time. I remember when I was a freshman, I didn't know how much those people would have an impact on me. And so every year it's really cool and emotional for me to watch people run home and meet all these new people, not knowing the large impact that they're not only going to have on their college experience, but also their life.
Thank you so much for making your way out here, Kelly. Live in the muck with Coyote News, I'm Parker Orr.
Thanks, Parker. Susan Mills says that it's an honor to provide this experience for new students every year.
The USD Esports Club officially began the semester with tryouts for their new gaming teams. Students gathered in the esports arena last week to build their teams. The tryout process consists of a tournament-style bracket for each game. Esports member Xander Hull says there are plenty of reasons to try out.
It's definitely fun to just sit down and play some video games with people. I mean, that's what we all did as kids, you know. Everybody there is happy to help you in some sort of way. And I really think you should try and get out of your comfort zone and socialize and learn more about different video games.
Now that teams are selected, the Esports Club plans to go to competitions throughout the school year. Although current tryouts are over, students are welcome to utilize the esports arena and its features at any time.
If you've driven near Burgess Norton, then you might have seen that the road is closed. Construction from Plum to University Streets started in July as part of a project by the City of Vermilion. The first project phase will be completed by next Friday. The second phase involves construction from University to Dakota Street. That'll start September 23rd with an expected completion by the end of November. In the meantime, there won't be vehicle access or parking on that section of Clark Street and in parking lots 11 and 18. Those with an A parking permit are being advised to use parking lot 23, which was constructed last fall between the med school and the South Dakota Union Building.
Downtown Vermilion was filled with people attending the 20th annual gathering of Ribs, Rods, and Rock and Roll this past weekend. The gathering aims to bring people together with the common love of cars, music, and barbecue. The event featured food vendors, a car show, and kids' activities including a bounce house and pony rides. The Hy-Vee Backyard Barbecue competition was added this year. Hy-Vee supplied the ribs and amateur chefs vied to be named the winner by a panel of community judges. Plans for next year's Ribs, Rods, and Rock and Roll are already underway.
The 110th Dakota Days is just a few weeks away, and nominations for D-Day's royalty are open. Student organizations can nominate up to 2 representatives for Mr. and Miss Dakota. To be qualified, candidates must be a member of the organization and be an undergraduate student, preferably in their final year of studies. The nominees have to be a full-time student in good standing, and they cannot be a previous member of the Dakota Days Royalty Court. The nomination form can be found on the USD Involvement webpage. Nominations close on Friday, September 20th at midnight. Next on Coyote Sports, women's soccer play their final home non-conference match.
And we interview Paralympic silver medalist Miles Kraske.
In a world where embracing your identity is a privilege not usually given to the members of the LGBTQIA+ community,
the University of South Dakota Spectrum provides community and education for young queer scholars.
Sexuality and identity are defined on spectrums.
And having a community of open-minded, inclusive peers provides safety. Spectrum is one reason all Coyotes can call the University of South Dakota their home.
Coyote News.
There's breaking news regarding an NCAA settlement. This is Coyote Sports. I'm Muhammad.
And I'm Jacob Pierce. The state of South Dakota and the Board of Regents are suing the NCAA over a settlement known as House versus NCAA. Attorney General Marty Jackley is backing USD and SDSU, saying the two schools should not have to pay for something that didn't involve their activities. President Sheila Gestring says USD supports Jackley's decision and SDSU's president agrees. The settlement in its current form means that $2.8 billion will be paid to athletes competing from 2016 to the present. In late August, USD's athletic director said South Dakota Athletics is expecting to pay $300,000 to $350,000 over the next 10 years as a result of the original settlement. South Dakota is the first state to sue the NCAA over the issue. South Dakota Athletics is further extending into the world of name, image, and likeness. The NIL store now includes South Dakota gear on its website, along with conference rivals like NDSU. In August, USD ranked 4th among the NIL store's top 10 selling schools. Purdue, Illinois, and Baylor claimed the top 3 spots. Fans can purchase basketball, football, soccer, and volleyball jerseys and apparel for every USD athlete. Look for their Instagram page at southdakota.nil.store.
The men's golf team were in Illinois to open their fall season at the Derek Dolnick meet. It also marked the first meet under new head coach Chad Green. South Dakota finished 7th with a final score of +4 in the 18-team tournament that finished yesterday. Max Schmidtke led the way, finishing tied for 3rd with a final score of -8. Cole Witherow finished 34th as the second best Coyote. South Dakota doesn't compete again until late September when they head to the Zach Johnson Invitational in West Des Moines. The women's golf team went to Illinois as well, but this is the second tournament of the year for the women. South Dakota finished tied for 5th with Northern Illinois. Ava Schroeder and Ella Greenberg led the way for USD, finishing 12th and 14th with scores of +6 and +7. The Coyotes compete next at the 46th Pat Bradley Invitational in Miami at the end of the month.
At the top of the show, we highlighted Paralympian Miles Kraske. Coyote News' Parker Orr is live in the muck with the silver medalist. Parker?
Thanks, Jacob. I'm live in the muck with Miles Kraske, Olympic silver medalist and USD student. So, Miles, you came back, and for your freshman year, you had a parade and a celebration. How was that? How was that exposure adjusting back to campus?
It was pretty cool, especially since we haven't really had that type of exposure for badminton in the U.S. And just coming back to this amount of support in this community really meant a lot, and seeing all my friends and family cheering us on was incredible.
And then how are you going to fit around your training regimen and your workout schedule with your classes?
So I was talking with my coach and my parents, and they're like, you should take a few months off since qualification for the LA 28 games aren't for another 2 years. So I think I'm going to take a few months off, get my schoolwork done and everything, and then focus back on badminton afterwards.
And then you had a viral singles match where you just laid your heart out on the line in that effort. How has the reception to that recognition been and that impact on your legacy?
I still think it's crazy just because that's how some of our matches normally go, and I knew that it was match point, so I couldn't give up on that point, so I just tried my very best, and even though I lost it, it meant a lot to lose to somebody that I'm best friends with out on the court.
And then when is your next match, and how are you going to plan your training for doubles since your partner lives out of the state?
Yeah, so I'm not too sure when our next tournament will be, but we're still kind of planning all of that out. And then we'll kind of just meet up to play mixed doubles at the tournament probably since school is going on.
Thank you so much for making it out here, Miles. Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Parker Orr.
Thanks, Parker. Again, Kraske plans on competing in the 2028 Paralympic Games. The women's soccer team played their last home non-conference game of the season this weekend against Portland State. The Coyotes jumped out to the first lead of the game with Brooke Conway scoring her first goal of the season. Morgan Sullivan also scored her first goal of the season, extending the lead to 2-0. The Vikings started a comeback in the second half, opening with 2 goals, including this corner kick. South Dakota tried to maintain their lead, but Portland State turned a 2-point deficit at halftime into a 3-2 victory. The Coyotes now fall to 2, 3, and 2 on the season. The team's in Colorado tomorrow night, taking on the Northern Colorado Golden Bears to kick off a 3-game road trip.
The volleyball team went to its second tournament of the year at the NKU Invitational in Kentucky. The Coyotes played 3 matches in the tournament, losing the first to number 4 ranked Louisville. Kylan Seelock led South Dakota in kills, aces, and blocks, but it wasn't enough. The Cardinals won 3-1. In match 2, the Northern Kentucky North swept South Dakota in 3 games despite the defensive effort of 15 digs from Cameron Ferris. After dropping the first 2 games, the Coyotes bounced back against Missouri, defeating the Tigers 3-1. Avery Van Hook picked up the double-double with 46 assists and 12 digs to finish off the tournament. South Dakota plays their first home matches of the season this weekend, starting with a blackout game against Montana State on Friday.
After a blowout win at home to Division II Northern State, the football team took to the road to take on FBS Wisconsin this last Saturday. USD started out slow against the Badgers, trailing 17-3 at halftime after 2 touchdowns by Wisconsin to start the game. The Coyotes responded to start the second half, scoring 10 straight points, including a 35-yard touchdown run by Keandre Jones-Logan. Wisconsin pulled away in the end, winning the game 27-13 as South Dakota dropped to 1-1 on the season. The team faces their first FCS opponent of the year this Saturday against the Portland State Vikings.
The cross-country teams went on the road for the first time this year at the Platte River Rumble. Both teams finished second in the meet, with Nathaniel Geifel leading the way for the men and Madison Brower leading the way for the women. Geifel was named the Summit League Peak Performer of the Week for the first time in his career. 4 of the 5 scorers for the men's team finished in the top 10. The next meet for the cross-country teams is on September 27th at the Gaines Creek Classic. After a shutout win last week against Lakota Tech, the Tanagers have a tough team coming to town on Friday. Vermilion will play host to the current number 1 seed Canton. The Tanagers average 34 points per game compared to the Seahawks' 20. So anything can happen on Friday. That's it for Coyote Sports.
When we come back, we ask students about the new Coyote logo. Stay with us.
This is Coyote News.
The San Diego Zoo's celebrating the birth of a Sumatran tiger cub. The cub was born August 23rd to first-time mother Jillian. The cub's been very active and vocal as it explores and grows. The birth's an important step for the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. There's ongoing work to conserve Sumatran tigers, a subspecies where only 600 remain in the wild. Did you know that September 11th is known as Make Your Bed Day?
We asked our ex-followers if they make their bed. Personally, I don't make my bed. Do you make yours?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't make my bed.
I will if there's like people coming over, but otherwise, no time for that.
Makes sense.
Let's see what they had to say. Okay, the majority of people don't.
Yeah, not too surprising on the results. I can get that. It's sometimes hard to get out of bed and especially harder to get to class. So.
Yeah. Follow our X page for more weekly polls. A few weeks ago, USD unveiled a new secondary Coyote logo.
We asked students what they think of the change.
Here's what they had to say.
Not gonna lie, it's not my biggest fan. It's nice, but it's a little aggressive, I think.
I don't mind it, but I do like the old logo better, though, to be honest.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I like the old one better. If it's like the new one don't really look like a coyote. It looks more like a rabbit or something. It doesn't really fit.
I think it's pretty alright. I wouldn't say it's my favorite in the world, but it's still pretty good.
It's unique. I would say at least. I'm not sure if I like it as much as the old one. I haven't even seen it.
I think the new logo is pretty cool. It's new, unique, and really just shows, I don't know, the new, what is it called? A coyote?
I think it's definitely a change. I don't mind it too much though.
I didn't even know they had a new logo. I don't think they've advertised that or anything that I've seen. Have they put it in the shops or anything? Or?
I'll be the first to admit, when I first saw it, I wasn't such a fan either, but as I've seen it more on like athletic wear and jerseys, it's kind of grown on me. I kind of like it now.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way.
It definitely grows on you, and I'm lucky to own a shirt like that myself.
I like the OG the best though.
Yeah, me too. I was not a fan at first, but now I'm starting to like it more.
That's all for Coyote News.
Pick up the Volant for a look at how a retired professor is driving a new path with safe rides.
Listen to 91.1 for news updates throughout the week and for coverage of your USD sports.
Don't forget to follow our social media pages for daily updates and the weekly poll. Have a great night.